is time to do another sketchbook tour. And actually, I finished this book a while ago and I just haven't had the time to sit down and make a video showing it. So I wanted to do that. It holds me accountable and I think I enjoy seeing other people's sketchbooks. So this is a Pentalic sketchbook. I did customize it with my own ribbon marker because I just can't ever leave well enough alone. I do need to write the finished date on this, but this is my third completed sketchbook and I started it in July of 2021. I started it with a pen and ink and watercolor Rembrandt study, and I kind of love this one. I love how that turned out. I'm gonna have to do some more of these. I was using an ink that was not waterproof though, so I ended up sort of dragging it down to make the reflections, but I'm now using more ink that's waterproof because I'd rather add watercolor over the ink. Anyway, more on that later. This is, I don't know why, I ripped out a page. I'm not sure what happened there, but this is a study of, oh, I can't say his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name, guys. Here it is. Is it Caillebotte? You let me know how to pronounce it, but there it is. I love his work. I wish I knew how to pronounce his name. I'll work on that. But I originally did this as a pencil study, but I loved it so much that I wanted to do it in color. So I got my acrylics out and painted it, and I love this kind of very general face as like just for a sketch or for a study, or if the point is to really focus on the clothing instead of the face, because faces can take a long time. For me anyway, I feel like I have to fiddle with them a lot. So I think I'll probably do more sketches like that. This is a watercolor study, pencil and watercolor, of one of the statues in Paris. It's in the grounds of what's that place called? Oh, the palace. It's in the middle of Paris. Anyway, but this is a statue of Valentine de Milan, the Duchess of Orleans. And I took a picture of it when I was in Paris, and I just really loved how the light was falling on her and everything. So I always wanted to sketch her, so I went ahead and did that. Luxembourg Gardens, that's what it is. There are a bunch of statues of queens around in Luxembourg Gardens, and this is one of them. And then this is the Winged Victory in the Louvre. And again, I had always wanted to paint it. So this is just a very loose sketch. It's in gouache and a liquid, I guess a water-soluble graphite that I was using. It's this product. I was testing it out for the first time. Art Graph. Here's Esme. I think this will be a thing that my cat will, I have two cats, but that they'll come make a little appearance in the videos. So this is a study that I did just playing with watercolor. I wasn't trying to draw anything. I just wanted to fill up a page and kind of break out of my usual color palette. Sometimes I can take my art too seriously. And this is the Art Graph watercolor graphite, just sort of playing with the values of that. I even said, look, I can be a little tight. So with like quick sketches. So doing things like this helped me to kind of loosen up. These are some pen and ink studies that I did with some watercolor around it. And this, again, it was just sort of playing. This was like loosening up. I had drawn this a while ago, so I glued that down and just put a little bit of antique French fabric there. This is an old postcard that I really liked. And I put it in by gluing the ribbon corners down so that I can still take the postcard out. But I had made this little, I had made this little kind of watercolor backdrop and decided to put this on top. So again, this was just not so much sketching, but just sort of creative mixed media play. This is a study from the book Sketchbook for the Artist by Sarah Simblett. She drew a few costumes, and I really, well, not costumes, but antique clothing from a museum, and I just really loved them. So this is one in pen and ink, and then I did some water on top of it to let the ink run some. And this is another one. I did that one in watercolor and pen and ink as well. Here's a pen and ink of my cat. It kind of turned out as a bit of a mess, but I'm really working on drawing moving subjects and also drawing quickly and not editing too much, like editing myself while I'm creating too much. So I do assignments like this to kind of loosen up. These are some more studies from Sarah Simblett's book. Just some shoes and a little, this was a design. I don't know if that's from Sarah's book or not. I'm not sure. But I was just drawing up that little design. This is a study of John Sell Cotman's watercolor. I just love how this one turned out. It's one of my favorite watercolors I've done. So I'm definitely going to have to do some more watercolor studies like this. I loved how the colors turned out. Loved the sky. And usually when I work with watercolors, I do little swatches on the side to test the color. And I sort of love how I have that then as a little record. These are some pen and ink studies from, this is a Cezanne railing sketch study by Cezanne that I did. And then these are all, this guy again, Calibot studies from his book. And I was really happy with how these turned out. I can be a little tentative with pen and ink, and I can get pretty nervous about drawing like people. I'm afraid I'm gonna get the proportions wrong. And I was really pleased with these, how they turned out. This is just an acrylic landscape study that I did. And oops, we've got some pages sticking together. You can see I got much more colorful with this sketchbook than I have with previous ones. This is another acrylic study, and it was just like a loosen up kind of study. I wasn't painting anything specific or going in any direction. I just wanted to play with paint. And this is what I usually do landscapes when I'm playing with paint. This is a watercolor landscape study, just kind of working on watercolor clouds. This is a study of a painting I took a picture of in the Louvre when I went in, this is from 2018. And I loved this painting. It was done in oils, but I did a pencil sketch and then I decided to add watercolor. And again, I'm really happy with how that one turned out. I really love her. This is a pencil sketch of one of Degas' statues. It was in the Louvre, in Musee d'Orsay. And this one was tough. I didn't quite get this one right. But the angle that she holds her head and some of her facial features I found to be really difficult, but it was a good challenge. I'll have to try her again at some point. I am happy with some things like the bodice of the corset here and the crinkled ballet skirt and all of that, but not super happy with how her face shape turned out. This is a study of a door that I took a picture of in Charleston, North Carolina. And here I was trying to combine using a few ruled lines along with some freehand lines. These are just some little pen and ink studies. This is, again, I'm just trying to kind of loosen up a little bit. And let's see, these are studies from the countryside. Don't remember what book that was that I was looking at. And this is a study of a Bert Morceau watercolor called On the Cliff. And I did actually a video tutorial of this. I'll link it in the down bar. This is a graphite sketch of a shell that I found at Isle of Palms. It's a whelk shell. And a pen and ink study of a shoe. And this is from a painting by Van Gogh. There were actually 3 pairs of shoes or 3 shoes, and I just picked one to draw and to really focus on you know, lines and value in pen and ink. And again, I was really pleased with how that one turned out. I've really been working on my pen and ink, and I was happy with what I was able to capture there. And that's it. Another completed sketchbook. And let's see, I finished that on August 21st. So it just took me, about a month and a half to get that one filled up. So I'm working on my next sketchbook, which has been a little slow since I've been launching my book and working on that, but I'm gonna start getting that one filled up. So I'll have another sketchbook tour hopefully soon.